We're doing two Wnba player props here on PrizePicks for Tuesday, June 24th. Before we get started, you guys take a look in the description below of the video. Hop into the Discord, $9.30 per month, 31 cents per day. Currently doing a promo right now for first-time members of the Discord, 20% off your first month using promo code TUFF with the link in the description below. Again, it comes out to like $6 for the full first 30 days. It's where I post all the plays that I'm making on PrizePicks. We have other cappers in there as well. Super positive community. Everyone in there just trying to help each other cash. Also to mention, follow me on Twitter at ToughPicks. Been posting daily plays of the day over on there. I'm really trying to grow my Twitter following over there. So again, link in the description below for that as well. But let's get into it, you guys. We have a nice WNBA slate today. Again, all these games, game totals or spreads, under 10 points, which again is positive and good to see. Let's not waste any time though. Let's just get right into it. So the first play I'm looking at, again, could be controversial. I don't think it is. I don't think it needs to be. I'm looking at Angel Reese over 33 fantasy score. I think it's a strong matchup versus Sparks. She has been playing well. The kind of head coach has kind of started to revolve the offense around her specifically. Assists are up, defensive stats are up, and I think it's a really good spot. Obviously, this matchup here is, I think, if you're talking about taking overs for games, this is the best one. Both these teams are bottom tier defensive teams, defensive ratings over since June 1st. Chicago's second worst and Sparks third worst. So we're just expecting a ton of offense and a little defense in this one. I think the game total is set pretty high as well. And we look at Angel Reese. She's played pretty well as of late. Over this line in 3 of her last 4, 56, 35.5, and 47.8 in 3 of her last 4 games. Just really playing well. Obviously, the defensive stats are up. She's got at least 2 stocks or steal split blocks in 4 of her last 4 games. Rebounds are always going to be there for her. Assists are up as well, 11, 5, 2, and 4. And then obviously the points, I think we're set for a floor of around 8 to 12 points in my opinion in this matchup. But it is a strong matchup, like I said. We look over on Outlier again. There's a link in the description below. You can get a 7-day free trial with Outlier. Again, absolute elite research betting tool that I do use on a regular basis. But talking about Angel Reese, over her last 20 games, even going back to last season, when she plays 32-plus minutes, she's over in 13 of her last 20, averaging 38.9 fantasy. If we filter this to at home, over in 7 of her last 11 games when she plays 32-plus minutes, going back to last season, like I said, averaging 34.6 fantasy points. But going to this here, we look at, again, this is a great reason why Outlier works well. We look at other fantasy scores totals for other players that have faced the Sparks recently. Gabby Williams, 49.3. Nafisa Collier, 60.6. Janelle Saloon, her line was 19. She finished with 30.1. Kayla Thornton, 35.7. Satu Sabali, 47.8. Angel Reese down here, 35.4. Earlier in the season when, again, the offense for the Sparks, for the Sky was a lot different. And even not on this list, right? Gabby Williams, 49.3, was Nneka, who, 27 minutes, put up 26, 5, 2, and 3. This is like probably close to 40 fantasy points, if not 40, against the Sparks as well, and she's not even on this list. So we see how forwards have been able to dominate, and including centers as well. Asia Wilson, 47 and 76. The Sparks just getting dominated by forwards. Even if we look here, like I said, both teams, bottom tier defensive teams, but we look at the Sparks since June 1st, right? The most points this is again giving up opponents to these stats are forwards against the Sparks, right? Their opponent points against forwards. 47.8, most points, right? The most steals, the most blocks, most assists, and the third most rebounds is what the Sparks are allowing to forwards. So again, a great spot for Angel Reese. I think the productivity is there when she does, play these type of minutes. We should see. I'm going to actually check the lines for this one. I think it's got to be the highest game total on the slate. Yeah, 167.5. I guess not the highest, but 5.5 point spread. I'm expecting just a ton of offense, no defense in this one. I like Angel Reese over 33 fantasy score as the first play. Second one here I'm looking at is going to be Nneka. We took Nneka over the weekend on Twitter, and it cashed for us pretty easily. I like her over 36 fantasy score. I think since the beginning of the year, they've kind of been focusing the offense around her. But since they made the switch to input Erica Wheeler into the starting lineup, the offense has just gotten so much better, and they're continuing to run the offense through Nneka. We look at her. We look at her most recent game. She's playing really well. 44, 50, and 45 over her last 3 games. Over in last line in 4 of her last 5. 43, 44, 50, and 45 in her 4 overs over that last 5. We look over on Outlier. She's over in 3 of her last 3 games versus the Indiana Fever. Going back to last season, 41, 48, and 42 fantasy against the Fever. And like I said, we look at 2025. Over her last 5 games, she's averaging 39.96 fantasy points, obviously playing massive minutes. We look at in 2025, she's over in 7 of 14, 50% hit rate, right? But when she does see these type of minutes, which I think she's going to see in this one, which should be a pretty close and competitive game, 32 plus minutes, she's over in 5 of 6, averaging 42.35 fantasy. Now, we look at some stats for the Indiana Fever. They obviously play fast, which is a pace-up matchup for Nneka. We look at other teams that play fast and how Nneka's done against them. New York Liberty, Phoenix Mercury, and the Dallas Wings are other top 4 teams as far as pace goes in the WNBA. So against the New York Liberty, some of her best games have come in against the teams that play at top and pace. Dallas, her best game was against Dallas, who play fast, 52.1. New York Liberty, 45.9. And Phoenix, 38.6. So in these 3 matchups versus very similar pace teams, she's done really well and cleared this line, obviously. But points in the paint since June 1st. The Indiana Fever are allowing the most points in the paint in the WNBA. The most. 39.1 in the paint, WNBA, since June 1st, right? Even going back to Nneka against other similar teams. Sparks, Aces, and Atlanta Dream. The other teams in the top 4 as far as points in the paint, WNBA. Nneka against the Sparks, 44. Against Vegas, 50.9. Against Vegas, 42.6. Right? So you see this type of pattern here. I guess, what was the other team? Atlanta Dream. I don't know if she's faced Atlanta yet. Atlanta, 31.2. So you see this type of pattern here for teams that fit the similar profile as the Fever and how Nneka has played against them. Even this as well, Nneka, 55.4% of her points come in the paint as well, which is the second on the team. I mean, Ezzy obviously 89.6, but no one is seeing the volume that Nneka is as far as points in the paint go on the Seattle Storm. So again, like I said, it's a great spot for Nneka. Just a little line here for us to, 24 and 8, no assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 1 turnover. I just think given this matchup, high game total, I think this has the closest spread as well. 3.5 point spread, 167.5 game total. At home, obviously the Fever, very electric offense. The Storm have to keep up with that. Please drop a like, you guys. Hit that subscribe button, and as always, let's cash.